Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the 7th go-around for Tom Cruise and his team at the IMF as they battle an enemy that seemingly knows their every move before they make it and every variable outcome of this particular mission. The stakes are high, the action is incredible, but does this series still have what it takes? Does Tom Cruise still have what it takes to deliver an incredible action experience? Let's find out in this Megadad's review.
We cannot escape the past. Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
Now, I have to say before we start that the Mission Impossible franchise is my favorite action movie series of all time. I adore these movies. I love them all. Even Mission Impossible 2 has some good spots if you know where to look. And really, this series has only picked up steam, delivering better and better movies as they go. So I was really excited about this movie, and I was curious to see if they could deliver and continue to elevate this franchise as it goes on. And I will say that while Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 does not reach the heights of some of the best entries in this series, it's kind of hard to do so because by its very nature, it is a part 1 of a 2-part story. So there's so much more to come. You can't have that natural conclusion, that natural third act like you can in a normal Mission Impossible movie. Just the format and the setup is different that way. What this movie does deliver is some of the series' best moments, probably the funniest installment in any of the Mission Impossible movies. Tom Cruise's chemistry with Hayley Atwell is phenomenal, and her character fits in a very unique way. She's not just a placeholder for a cast member who stepped out for this series. She's a little more grounded. She doesn't have that invincibility around her like Tom Cruise does. She doesn't know what to make of this new world, and the movie itself kind of leans into that. And that's what I find so great about the Mission Impossible movies is they're not afraid to poke fun at themselves. This film franchise has really set the stage for what we as an audience come to expect, but when you introduce new flavor and new characters, it's fun to kind of see how they kind of give side-eye for some of the things that normal people would object to. Like when Tom Cruise yells at her to go and stop a runaway train, she's like, how the hell do I do that? And he says, you'll figure it out. And as audience members, we're used to Tom Cruise saying, I'll figure it out. But a normal person in that position would be like, what the f*** are you talking about? Now, it's kind of hard to talk about what Dead Reckoning Part 1 is about because so much of the fun of these movies is the discovery. So I want to review this movie without really telling you any specifics about what it's about, the plot. It takes a concept of something that we are all familiar with, that we can all identify with, and it injects that Mission Impossible sensationalism to it to deliver an enemy that is really unique to this series. And it's super cool the way it all plays out. I really like the storyline where they take the idea of what an enemy could be in a movie like this. It's very unconventional and it's very cool. Mission Impossible, as we know, is all about action sequences. And while I don't think that Dead Reckoning has like the best action sequences that this series has ever provided, it certainly has some of the most unique. And it has, bar none, the funniest action sequence that this series has ever had. There is a car chase in this film where Tom Cruise and Hayley Atwell continue to switch positions in the vehicle throughout the chase. And it is so cool and so unique. How do you do yet another car chase and make it different or special? And this movie really finds a cool, clever, and hilarious way to do it. It's one of my favorite chase scenes in the entire franchise because of how great the action is and how consistent Tom Cruise performs. I got out of this movie and I looked at my wife and I said, out of all of the movies that we've seen this summer that are 2 hours plus, this was the one that you never felt it. Like even when we saw Across the Spider-Verse, like that felt like a long movie, as great as it was. Mission Impossible was over like that because the intensity, the velocity of it all is just so constant. The movie just takes off and never stops until the credits roll. If you're looking for a great summer blockbuster, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is like the epitome of that. Mission Impossible is why I go to the movies. It is a fun, hilarious, action-packed good time that leans into what it is. It knows exactly what it is. It is Mission Impossible. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows that the concepts are absurd and over the top, whereas other movies might try to justify how everything happens and how it all kind of falls into place. Mission Impossible knows that it is there for one purpose: to entertain you, to give you a great time at the movies. And it does that by accepting what it is. It wears its heart on its sleeve and it just leans into that headwind. This is a great time. This is a fantastic movie. It's not the best entry in the franchise. It's not my personal favorite. Definitely cracks top 3. I give Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait for Part 2.